we are going to tell the user or give the user a visual message. For example, right now, if I click on submit, you see it just shows this message, but it does not add a border around that input field. For example, it says the email should not be empty, but it does not tell the user which input field should not be left empty. So we are going to fix that. And what we can do first is that we can go to index.html, and inside of the head, we can basically use the style tag. So we can use some CSS here, and we are going to make this error message. All right. So I have that error message there, and I'm going to say border 2 pixels solid red, and I'm forgetting a colon here. All right, so I have my error message there, and now let's go to code.js. So inside of the code.js, what we can do is that we can add that style to this element if it doesn't have a value in it. For example, right now, if I click on submit, it's going to show you the message, but doesn't tell you which one. So let's add that border around it. So to do that, you see right here, I have both the email and name stored inside of these variables. All right. So you see document.getElement by ID. I have the email, but I'm getting the value, and I'm setting it to lowercase. However, if you try to simply add or change the styling of this input field, if you change the styling using these variables, it's not going to work. So we will have to, make two different variables without the value trim and to lowercase. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy this email line, and I'm going to paste it right below it. I'll call it email input. All right, so email input. So this is a different variable, and this will store that input. I'm not going to add the value trim or to lowercase. So you see on line 6, I have that variable email input, and I'm saying document.getElement by ID email. So I'm storing that element inside of this variable. So now inside of this empty if statement, we can go to the next line, and let's type in email input. All right, so email input dot. So we have a CSS class inside of our index.html. So you can have the style in here, or even if you have an external sheet, it's going to be the same thing. But you see, I have this CSS error that will add the border around that element. So I'm going to add that there. So I'm going to say email input dot, and then class list, then dot again, add. So dot add, and then we open two quotations, and we are going to type that in. So error message. I believe it was like this. So now if I click on submit, you see it's going to basically add that red border around that input field. So now the user will understand that this input field cannot be left empty. What about the name? So if I add something here, for example, and if I click on submit, you see it says enter a valid name, but it does not add this red border around that one. So to do that, what we can do is we can basically do the same thing. So I'm going to copy that line. So you see I have that name. So you see I have the name, and I have stored it inside of the name variable. I'm gonna copy that line. So I'm gonna click on line 7, copy it, and paste it right below it. So now I'm gonna call it name input, and we are going to remove dot value trim and to lowercase. So we are only interested in the element now, or the input field. And right here, we are going to do that for this one as well. So I'm going to say name input dot class list dot add, and open two parentheses and two single quotes, error message. So error message. All right. But you see, this line is not going to work because it's below the return false. So this return false has to go below it. All right. So I'll have to type in return false to stop the submission. So now let's try to submit it. You see, it's going to say the email should not be empty. So the user adds an email, clicks on submit. It's going to say enter a valid name. It's going to add a red border around it. So you can click on it, add a name, Jersey. If I click on submit, it's going to say please choose a sports in the menu. So now we can choose a sports. And now if we click on submit, it's going to go through. All right, so this is what we wanted.